Now we review Final Destination, Bloodlines. Yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm new to the Final Destination series of films, and this is the most recent, the 2025 film Bloodlines, which has a connection to the original Final Destination series and apparently explains the Oracle character of Tony Todd, who is no longer going to be in the films because of his unfortunate passing. And I mean, Tony Todd is an icon of horror. He is one of the great horror actors. I remember that my brother saw Final Destination and fell in love with Tony Todd as an actor and looked up every film he ever did. So yeah, R.I.P. Candyman. But Final Destination Bloodlines is, well, it is the story of a family that has been created through cheating death. What happened was there was a restaurant like the Space Needle, and there was a terrible calamity, and everybody died. Only, somebody predicted it and saved all the people, and death was like, oh man, all of these people are now alive and I've got to kill them. So it's taken more than 50 years for it to go and get to all of these people who should have died. And the person with the vision was the last, one of the last survivors, you know. So she was killed very close to the end there. And her family is now safe because she's alive, but death, of course, is very patient. So there's something of a eventually you're going to die somehow. So death eventually gets to this person, and now their family is getting popped off, all right? Yeah, it's a little convoluted, and in fact, I did, after seeing Final Destination Bloodlines, I was given a copy by a friend of the original Final Destination, and that's not how it worked. Yeah. But what is Final Destination in its essence is splatter porn. You see ridiculous kills in manners that it's like, that shouldn't have happened that way. This person should be way more dead. There's blood everywhere. People are getting crushed to death in improbable Rube Goldberg scenarios. And, one of those things about death is that it always makes its mark, and you can never really mess with it. And, by the way, if you do mess with death, your death will probably be very unpleasant. Like, don't have piercings in your nether regions kind of unpleasant, because things can happen to those. Things can really happen to those. So, yes, the one thing I do have to say is the use of CGI in Bloodlines. Not everybody is going to notice that it's CGI. Some of the CGI is very well done, but still very definitely CGI. A lot of the splatter is CGI, and that's just downgrades the film ridiculously. So, this movie is splatter porn. It's not particularly exploitative splatter porn, so it's splatter porn for a general audience, but still splatter porn. I would place it in the middle of your watch list. I mean, it's a fun series of films, I'm sure, but the creepy factor is way down, the silly factor is way up, and it's almost not respectable horror. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. I'm Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Fred the Facehugger, and I'd like to point out that this world isn't a nice place. But you know who's trying to make it a nice place? The owner of this channel, yes. The owner of this channel does things like pay for ocean cleanup, and have trees planted, and even feed orphans in an orphanage in Mexico. Yes, it's a real thing. I'm not kidding. I may be face-hugging alien from a horror movie, but I'm not a liar. Anyway, when you comment, like, and subscribe, you're supporting that better world, and whereas it may not make a big difference, it may be the difference between one more tree planted, one more pound of trash out of the ocean, or one child not going hungry tonight. So, think about it. Shouldn't you comment? Shouldn't you like? Shouldn't you subscribe? I certainly would if I were you. I'm Fred.